Let's talk about a few things top to bottom here. I saw this tweet on my timeline from Raph. She is another pretty big Soulsborne streamer. Does PvP stuff, been in the scene for a really long time. And she made a tweet saying, if you're expecting Elden Ring DLC today, of course, today being the 25th, sorry, but the anniversary is enough to celebrate. FromSoft will drop DLC news on a random day when you're not expecting it, maybe even when you're asleep. Always be ready, stay vigilant. And I responded to this saying that, and first of all, I want to say what she said here was right. I agree with it. Elden Ring is such an incredible masterpiece that we have not had a game like it in a very, 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 very long time. If it's any game that deserves a pass, it's Elden Ring with the time and work and effort they put into this title. However, I will also say this, that 1 year into the game's release, I think it's also valid for people to kind of start groaning a little bit and be like, please, we love this. Like, we just give us a crumb of anything we want to see more. And I think those frustrations are valid. Not saying like fuck the developers or anything like that, but just that, you know, I think it's valid for people to kind of like be sad that on the 25th we did not get an announced DLC. So I said the biggest letdown for me was realizing that if we didn't get an announcement yesterday, the 2024 release window becomes a lot more realistic. That being said, they could announce it tomorrow for no reason. Extremely weird marketing decision, but whatever. And that'd be cool. The 25th goes by, they don't announce DLC. Everyone is pissed. Everyone's pissed. Me included, right? I was just really like, I'm looking for, again, it's me we're talking about here, guys. So like, I can play this game a million different ways, and I'm happy with it. I will keep thinking of innovative ways to kind of approach this game and stuff like that. I'll be fine. But I do
Montage
also
is a bitch? Question
Thank
mark?
you, Mish. I do also like. I also empathize with everyone that is like very like upset with the fact that we haven't gotten a patch in a couple months, right? So there are reasons to be upset. And I said extremely weird marketing decision, but they could announce it tomorrow. Tomorrow was yesterday. Lo and behold, fucking DLC got announced. They gave us a crumb of an appetizer and everyone loved it. I agree. I'm fine with it. Here was my issue. One of my letdowns was, and I literally tweeted this on the 25th. I said, I would have been totally okay with something as simple as a black photo with white text that had a date in the future for an announcement of anything Elden Ring content related. But we didn't even get anything as low effort as that. Disappointed, not gonna lie. I tweeted that and I really felt that in my heart. I know a lot of the Europeans stayed up super late in hopes that they would announce it during the Bandai Namco stream. And I was staying on, and like once I learned that the stream ended and we got no announcement, I was like, what the fuck? You know, like I was genuinely like, I was like, guys, we know for a fact that a DLC is in the works. We've known for a while. It's basically all but been confirmed, but not officially confirmed. So it's like, just give us anything. Just tell us at a later date that you're going to announce it. Like, I would have like been fine with, as long as they've acknowledged that there's DLC and they're going to tell us this, and then to announce that they're going to announce it on a later date. I would have been fine with that, right? Because again, we know it's a thing. The community knows it's a thing. It was just, we wanted FromSoft to confirm it for us, just so we can have a little bit of spark of hope. And lo and behold, of course, we got this today, or earlier today, 3 a.m. And here, I'll back up a second, read chat before I continue this rant. But they gave us a they're too busy fixing the phantom finger glitch. Yeah, wishful thinking, Warrior Jar Lionel. What if AC6 comes out early summer and DLC holiday season? I think it's possible. It's a possible roadmap. They've been hyping for the past month or so with the tweets. Have they? I have not been seeing any tweets that have related anything DLC related. If the game gets patched 1 to 3 times till DLC drops, it's already enough to keep me hyped throughout. No, Juno, I completely agree, Juno. Yeah. I think you're right. I think the patches are so lengthy and change so much, usually, that it's enough to like change the game enough, or the meta of the game enough, to where it's gonna keep people back and keep things fresh and keep people trying new weapons and stuff like that. So yeah, patches are fine. Patches are great, which is another reason why people have been getting antsy, is because we haven't gotten one for 2 fucking months, you know? So it's like kind of high time that we get one, you know? What do you think will the price point be? They call it expansion and not DLC. Kind of sounds massive to me. I've heard both things as far as like the terminology of expansion. Like I've heard a lot of things. So some people think the fact that they're not doing DLC or not saying DLC is because it's going to be small, and its expansion is just to like temper expectations. Some people like yourself, you know, Mish, where it's like the expansion makes it sound bigger than a DLC. They want it to be an extension of the game. Now, everything that we've learned up until this point would suggest that this is going to be big, maybe even game size, you know, base game size. So who's to say? Where I kind of, where my opinion is, where I err on this is, I think, you know, it errs on the side of that. Expansion is just because it's Japanese, right? Translation into English. You know, that was just like, I think it's just like not the best translation, or maybe not the most like expectation tempering translation. I don't really think anything of it. I like, a lot of people put a lot of stock into expansion. I'm not one of those people, but I think just going off of everything that we've learned up until this point, that I think, you know, expansion makes sense. Sorry, that I think it's gonna be big. Yeah, but yeah, as far as price point goes, again, if it's as big as a lot of people, you might like OnlyFans. Yeah, I can tell you exactly why it thinks I might like OnlyFans. It's because it's a long story, but basically I lost a bet, and I let one of my buddies make a tweet which was pinned to my account for a week, and it was asking for furry and hentai porn. So then a bunch of furry and hentai artists like started DMing me like just a bunch of like wieners and stuff in my DMs, and so yeah, basically my timeline thinks I'm a horny furry, so I have to kind of live with that algorithm choice for a while. But anyways, back to it. I have a whole video on it. You can go back to my YouTube and TikTok that explains like what the game was and the bet and all that stuff. So go. It's like one of the first pieces of content that I made. Anyways, going back to you know, what we were talking about. If it is sizable, you know, game-based size, I would go as far to say $30-40. I wouldn't even be surprised if they slapped on 60, because you guys fucking know that it's gonna, if it was like, if they put a $60 price tag on this, you would buy it. 100% you would buy it. I think that would scare a lot of people away. So I think you know, that I think it just makes sense that they obviously not make it as much as 60, but you guys would do it. I would do it. So I think it's going to be in the 30 to 40 range, considering it's allegedly supposed to be big. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see. Okay. Well, they've been keeping Elden Ring in people's consciousness for the past month, which tweets that kept a pretty similar theme of death, etc. Okay, I haven't actually looked into that new note, but that's an interesting thing we could check out. What if 1.09 comes out tomorrow? I'd be happy, please. I hope for one big ass legacy dungeon, like 4 times Stormveil. That'd be kind of sick, actually, and that'd be so fun to invade in. But also might get a little confusing, because even the small legacy, you know, even the small dungeons are fucking, they could be a maze sometime and an absolute pain in the ass. Like, they need to really fix Phantom Fingers. Like, that's a huge deal, because it spawns you super far away, and then also, like, you know, there's the scaling problem that it has. Yeah, I'd buy. FromSoft so far has always been worth the price. I agree. It's gonna be $49.99. Trust, I have a cousin at Sega. Insane. Trust me, bro. My dad works for Bungie. Playing the PvP for years, so Deathworth, yeah. Software are reliably for good DLC, so they have customer loyalty. That's true. And I think that's another thing that you guys have to remind yourselves of is that the hardest and best bosses out of every single Souls game have come from the DLC. So the fact that we have Melania in the base game and you know, DLC is still to come after that, I'm fucking excited. Whatever monster they throw our way, I can't wait. Let's just kind of break apart the DLC itself. Let's like look at the image and shit. Number one, of course, the title, Shadow of the Erd Tree. We'll come back to this, but the Shadow of the Erd Tree thing is interesting. And I'm gonna give you guys just kind of my opinions on what I think is gonna happen here. So as you can see, you have the ghost of all of these stones. So here's a prediction that I have. I think it's going to be another event like the Ulasil from Dark Souls 1, where it really plays into the time. Where I think time periods are going to clash. I think it's going to be like a past, future, present, all kind of collide along with each other. That's kind of the vibes that I get. So, obviously, the biggest contention is who is this person, right? Shadow like the wolves? Maybe. We'll get there. Do you reckon we will see younger Ronnie and Blyde if it is a prequel? It's possible. Obviously can't count anything out. First of all, we have to obviously talk about the very obvious thing, and that is that you can see the person's foot. So there's been the biggest debate is whether or not this is Mikola or if this is Marika. So some people are saying it's Marika because Marika was the former owner of Torrent. But I disagree because if you look at the braid on this hair and then you bring up right there, it has like the braids. I know it's kind of hard to tell. Braids. I don't know. I think it points more towards Mikola for me personally. And obviously, and there's a couple other reasons why. Mikola is genderly ambiguous, true. Yeah. There's no way that's not Mikola. I think it's Mikola, 100%, yeah. Because Mikola is considered genderless throughout all the lore, basically. So let's talk about the time thing, right? So I think when we play Elden Ring, especially like we know all of the graveyards from the Shattering War, right? Especially outside of Lanedale, right? So
Otter Octavius says, "I told you montage." That's me there.
Yeah, but in other places, Mikola is referred to as a woman. So, I mean, it's kind of all over the place. Plus, you also add on, like, Marika and what Marika's gender is. That's also up there. But it doesn't matter. Anyways, let's talk about, so the Shattering War, I think in present day time, it's a Gwendolyn situation, exactly. So we know that in present day, all of these graves are here, right? So maybe it's Mikola just riding through the fields where lots of his friends died. I think this is it's a time thing, and we'll get there as to why I believe that. So we know that present day, there's all of these dead people from the Shattering, right? And Mikola being like this Empyrean, the god, the person that was going to take Marika's place, has the power to see into the future, right? Something of that nature. So when he sees all of these, when Mikola sees like all of these, like it's like peering into the future, right? So let's obviously talk about the second most important part of this image, and that is the tree over here. So the question is becoming, is this the Erd tree, or is this the Halig tree? A lot of people think, since it's likely that this is Mikola, that this is likely the Halig tree. So I wasn't the one that discovered this, but I saw Quaylag, or maybe it was Zuli the Witch, one of the two, talking about this on Twitter. I originally thought this was the Halig tree, but I think it's actually the Erd tree, and here's why. Let me read a little bit of chat here. Mikola is against the Golden Order, isn't he? No. Yeah, made part of the Golden Order. Well, like, yes and no. Like, so he made the Halig tree to, like, in spite of the Golden Order. So I actually don't really 100% know the lore there. Like, half of the Golden Order are Mikola's spells, yeah. Mikola turned away from the fundamentalism and unalloyed gold to create the Halig tree. Right. Yeah, so yeah, Mikola basically was a part of the Golden Order and at one point turned away. That's the idea. Through Saint Trina, he was able to manipulate people through their dreams. Maybe he is Saint Trina in his dream world, and he might ride towards the core of something he tries to manipulate for a better future. Yeah, I heard that Mikola and Saint Trina are the same person. That's a theory. I don't really know for sure, kind of, if that really holds, like, any weight or so. So it was Zuli the Witch or Quaylag, one of those two that basically found that, and I'll try to kind of recreate it. And just again, a reminder, I'm not the person that found this. This is someone else. But the idea is... But, okay, so why is this interesting, and why does this look, you know, the way it does? So, one thing that we do know in present day, in present day Elden Ring, right, is that the, what is it called? What's the place below the deep root depths? So the deep root depths and the death blight and the death root are all blossoming and growing under the roots of the Erd tree, right? So again, I'm not the most perfect lore person, but at least I can kind of explain in monkey terms what I'm thinking here. Isn't the lands between Dying World anyways? Yeah. Okay. Why not have a deep lore session with Vati's vids? Yeah, I mean, if you want to know, really know truly the lore, hello, Earth Montage. Hello, Earth Endos. But anyways, so a lot of people are thinking that, it's possible that this is the Erd tree, and this is the future, or at least the Erd tree right over here is the future in which the death root has eventually consumed and strangled the Erd tree. That's why, like, you see some of, like, the golden shit, like, being, like, strangled out of it, like sap, right? Like, I'll go a little, you know, it's coming out of it, you know? So, you know, I think that's an interesting theory. So it's like, here's the future, here's the past, and Mikola knows what all of those things look like, but it says Shadow of the Erd Tree. I am inclined to believe that this is the Erd Tree and not the Halig Tree, because it literally also just says it in the title there. And given that theory, where we know that the Death Root, you know, has started under the Erd Tree, that I think it kind of makes sense that this is the Erd Tree and not the Halig Tree. So, but isn't the Halig Tree kind of the shadow of the Erd Tree? That's another theory. I think you're right. I know you're right that So what we know about the Erd Tree or the Halig Tree is that Mikola... Okay, so you know like where you guys get golden seeds in-game? There's like those little tiny like golden trees, like saplings, right? It's called a golden seed. Like, and then like a little tiny Erd Tree is growing, right? It's believed that basically Mikola took one of those, and that's what Mikola used to create the Halig Tree. So it's very possible that this could also be in the past. That this could be in the past when the Halig Tree is starting to bloom, and maybe at one point the Halig Tree did look like another Erd Tree. That's very possible. I guess it would make sense then that this is the past, and then this is the past. I guess what doesn't make sense is the death root part of it. But maybe it's just that the Halig Tree grew really fucking weirdly. And the Halig Tree is kind of weird and branched off and looks weird. But I think what it also then doesn't really explain is like, obviously the Halig Tree, it has like the cocoon area where Mikola was, right? Trying to grow into something greater. Ohio Man tries to explain trees real, yeah. I'm sure we'll get more Halig Tree too. He did so before the Erd Tree shed seeds by himself. The Erd Tree only gave away its seeds after the Elden Ring was broken. Do we know that for sure? I mean, I'm assuming that comes from a smart place. I don't really know. But, yeah. So I think that is another, like, maybe just that the tree from corruption is growing wrong. And maybe that's why Mikola was another one of the reasons why he got cocooned up in there. I don't know. I still think that it is a past and present type situation. Again, this is like all graves from the Shattering. It's kind of the vibes that I get. So I don't know. I think actually there's now that I'm thinking about it, there's more. I don't know. So here's another thing to think about, is that if this is the Halig Tree, yo, what's up, Mr. Curl? If this is the Halig Tree, right, then you don't see any other light source in this area. Because if this is the Halig Tree, then where's the light coming from the Erd Tree? The Erd Tree, like, puts light everywhere. There would be some type of, like, other exterior light source that would be the Erd Tree. But this is the only light source. So I'm kind of inclined to believe this is the Erd Tree. But if that's Mikola on Torrent, that means he gave him to Melina. So what the fuck? I mean, it could also be that once the Shattering happened and, you know, he cocooned up and stuff like that, that Torrent, you know, was just found by Melina. That's also a thing. Badlands? Okay, yeah, Mr. Curl, Badlands is not a thing. So the Bandai Namco leak, that was confirmed fake. So Badlands is not a real thing. Mr. Uwu, yeah. The swamp looks very brighty. Swamp? What swamp? This is the Shadow of the Erd Tree, correct. Deathblight swamp, confirmed. Oh my gosh, could you imagine a Deathblight swamp? Jeez. Ronnie and Mikola are tight, no? I believe they are, yeah. I think lore-wise, Melania, Ronnie, and Mikola are all tight. Because all three of them basically just kind of said F the Golden Order. One way or another. Ronnie was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go chaotic evil. and I'm not gonna just turn away from the Golden Order. I'm gonna fuck their day up. Ronnie knows of Torrent and us being his master, yeah. A lot of cool speculation today. Just what the gamers needed. I know. That's why I'm doing I'm doing a long segment on this for 2 reasons. Number 1. Okay, sorry about that. I had a work thing pop up. Okay. It's not gonna be a Deathblight, it's gonna be a Sleepy Tree. Yeah, right. Well, no, it could easily be Deathblight because, again, we're talking about, like, this is possibly the roots, you know? I really want to see the new weapons with different, even new movesets. Yeah, hopefully they're not busted broken like they usually are. Like Bone Fist. Yeah, I'd love to see, like, something like a Bone Fist come back. I want more meme weapons. I've been saying this for the longest time. I want a lasso. I want a lasso weapon. Like cowboy, just whoo, you throw it on somebody and then it binds them, right? You know? You're just like, boom, you throw it over there. And then you have, you know, Kevin come over, he's like, ding. And then boom. I'm bound, right? And then he's just sitting there. And you're just dragging him off. You only get like a certain amount of time to drag him, and you just try to drag him off cliffs and stuff, right? Or they're next to the edge of a cliff and you just drag them and yank them off. I think that shit would be so funny. So funny. Saint Trina may be in there somewhere. I think Saint Trina and Mikla are the same person. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there's like confirmation one where or another. Okay, yeah. So Elden Merchant just said, yeah, I think they're the same person. I think that's how the lore works. Ringed foot? Coop would be excited about the ringed foot. A ballista that fires a retractable fist. That'd be sick. Scorpions come over here? Yeah, exactly like that. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Feet claws? Dude, no feet claws. Fuck that. A feet whipped? Shut up. No shot. Given that there was already a Saint Trina Mikla quest line that ended up being cut content, I'm kind of disappointed we don't have a release date with this announcement. Yeah. What was there really? Wait, where's the quest line cut content? Oh yeah, Scorched Knight was showing me something the other day. Apparently Moog, like Lord of Blood Moog, was supposed to be like an NPC. He was supposed to basically be like the head of the Bloody Finger Covenant. There's cut dialogue and in-game actions where you're supposed to talk to him and he's supposed to do like the Bloody Finger quest line. So I think that like ultimately points to the existence of covenants, right? That covenants at least were an idea and a thought at one point or another. Imagine lifesteal fists on the feet weapons. Oh my gosh, dude. I feel like I brought up some good points, and I hope it's in the future, not the past, so Mikla is restored from his mogification. This is 100% the past. Okay, so this is why it's the past, because again, present day in the game, Shattering, we have all of those stuff outside of Lanedale, where it's all of the tombstones, which is what you see, the ghostly tombstones here. So this is Mikla in the past creating, you know, because he's an Empyrean, he has all these crazy powers, he has the ability to see into the future, and knows that the Shattering is going to come, and that all of these deaths are gonna happen. Free. That is free in what is happening. Yeah, but timey equals wimey. Yeah, right. Yeah. Because it explains Mikla still being in human form. Also, this is no way this is in the future. Like, why would it be in the future post-mogification when his arm falls out and it's way bigger than what he is in this? I'm not saying it's impossible, but like, if this is like, this scene right here is anything to do with like the actual gameplay of it, then this is definitely past. It's a dream. We're talking about Mikla. We could be going into the past. Or yeah, it could be a dream. That's true. Yeah, and if we're in a dream world, again, like if the way that we enter the DLC is through the Mikla cocoon after Moog's fight, then yeah, you know, I think that's his normal form, because when you see imagery of Mikola around the Halig tree, this is what he looks like. The Mogified version is the Saint Trina form? No. Pre-Mikola and Saint Trina, same person. In the past, before Melina, Mikola would be the one to help you level up. That might happen. Well, I don't know why they would put any type of focus on, you know, Mikola being like a maiden and helping you level up, because, you know, you would presumably enter this area again at that cocoon after Moog. So that's so late into the game that I don't think the developers would like care to make that a thing or not. Because that's like basically like introducing tutorial elements, like after killing one of the the latest game's bosses you can in the game. Because they have the Great Rune of Abundance, which makes sense if we apply it to levels. I don't even know what that is. I don't know whose Great Rune that is. Look at the depiction of Saint Trina on Saint Trina's torch. Looks more like a Mogified version than the statues in the Halig tree. This looks like the Mogified version. Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I think, what is the difference between this and this? They're both just a guy with long hair. It looks like a normal person. And actually, this, looking at this now, more supports my my original thought that Mikola has the ability to see into the future. Has the ability to see into the future because he has the eye on his forehead. So, eye on the forehead, triangle type stuff, right? You know, Illuminati and, you know, that bullshit. Not saying that has anything to do with it here. But the eyes on the forehead always has the symbolism, just like in Doctor Strange, right? Like, it has the symbolism that, like, you have this, like, foresight, right? So I think, if anything, this kind of, like, going back to this, there's some type of, like, past, present, future shit going on here, right? Or Mikola has the ability to see into the past. I think he has the ability to do both. Source, because I want a freaking happy ending. Please let me hope. Yeah, no shot. Think if you're looking at Saint Trina's torch here, yeah. I really do think that kind of supports that theory, right? So I don't know, pretty cool stuff.